I'm Shelley Appleton. Welcome to this part 2 of how to build confidence and trust in horses and people. Now, just to recap, I asked 44 people who identified as wanting to build confidence and trust in their horse some questions, and what they had to say, I think, will help you understand the issue. So whilst we can sit around and talk about the psychology of fear and confidence and trust, these insights reveal real practical things, the gaps in the practical things people can actually do to help tackle the issue. So each of these little videos, I'm going to give you a couple of insights from the information I collected. So first of all, in this video, what people identified was the main issue of their lack of confidence. Number one, sitting at the top, was a lack of trust in themselves to actually handle their horse when the horse became emotional. Okay, number two was a lack of trust in themselves to be able to handle their horse, plus also not really trusting their horse. And then just the people that just didn't trust the horse and believed that was the cause of their main issue with confidence was very small. Now, what that means is over half identified a lack of trust in themselves alone, whereas 94%, if you add those two together, identified a lack of trust in their ability to handle the horse as a main component in their actual issue of confidence. So what does that teach us practically? It means that, people that struggle with confidence and those that help them should be focused on developing skills in people to help influence a horse's emotional state, either prevent it from getting emotional, or if it does get emotional, what do you do about it? These are practical skills people need to learn. And it also teaches us that focusing on changing the horse, and the horse is the problem, and sending it off to training is actually not focusing on the cause of rider issues, which is actually themselves and their own confidence. We need to skill them up. Just changing the horse is actually not, it's not looking at the main problem, which is people's ability to handle the horse. Okay, next bit of information was I collected people's confidence doing certain things. I got them to rate their confidence on a scale of, 0 to 5, with 5 being super confident and 0 being not confident at all. Now, as you can see, as it goes from ground handling into riding an arena in good weather, into riding an arena in bad weather, to trail riding alone. So as the potential for the environment to not able to be controlled, so being unpredictable, like with wild weather or out on a trail, etc., those changes in the environment and the effect that can have on horses and the horse's confidence, you actually saw a plummeting of people's confidence. So as the potential became more uncontrolled and therefore the horse unreliable, people's confidence plummeted. So what does this teach us? Okay, that people really need to understand how horses are emotionally impacted by changes in their environment. Why do they get a bit up when it gets a bit windy? How do you handle them out on a trail? Or how do you teach a horse how to go out on a trail? All right, so they need to understand how the environment emotionally impacts them and how this ability in horses can be improved, and also taught skills of how to build trust and connection in a horse, because it's the horse focusing on the rider, and therefore, horse might be seeing something change in the environment. And, they get triggered to be worried about that because that's how they're hardwired. And they need to learn to, you've got to train them to look to the rider, or the handler, to be able to go, am I okay? And they'll look at the handler and they'll go, yes, I'm okay, because I'm being told I'm okay by my handler or rider. People need those skills to be able to teach horses to do that. What it also teaches us that we shouldn't encourage people to do things they're not ready for, or be exposed to environments that will challenge the horse until the people have developed these insights and skills to be able to help horses in these situations, to be able to introduce them to new situations. Otherwise what's happening is people are just avoiding these situations, and they're kind of missing out on it because there's this lack of focus on developing people's training skills. Okay, so that was this little insight. So that's the end of part 2. I'll see you in part 3, to be continued.